Hello everyone, my name is Victoria Gray. I handle estate sales in and around the St. Louis, Missouri area. And I want to speak to you, dear women. I've been doing this business for almost 34 years. My husband died when I was 36, 4 children and no life insurance. What does a mama do when she has to take care of her little fledglings? I was working for lawyers, and I also had a little store called Quilts Etc., where I made quilts, curtains, I did upholstery work, I did a lot of different things, and that was in Kirkwood, Missouri. Shortly thereafter, I married a man, and a second time I married a husband. I got married a second time, and I'm leaving this in because it's goofy, but this is me. I married, and I already had 2 children, and I had 2 more children with him. And within less than 4 years, he died of cancer, leaving me with 4 children and no life insurance. So I'm talking to you women because it's amazing what we can do if we put our best foot forward all the time. My life's journey has not been simple. I had this silly dream when I got out of high school that I would, I don't know, get married, have that white picket fence house. Now that's a long time ago. I never had that. But I will tell you this, perseverance and tenacity is something that I've had all these years. I have raised my 4 children. One has took a trip on addiction, which I'm writing a book about it. I have the cover right there. It's not done yet. It should be done mid-year of 2025. But my whole thing is not about writing, it's about what you do with your life. When you get knocked down, do you mope and whine about it, or do you get back up and find a different way? My sweet father, Victor, he was knocked around quite a bit. He had his own business, but life kind of does that. People interfere. They hurt you. They cause dilemmas in your life, and you change your path. But the most important part about this life, to me, is getting back up, figuring out a different way if you have to. What is the best way to go forward? So here's what happened with me. So my husband died. I had worked with 2 lawyers, and I was a head bookkeeper at a law firm, both law firms. And prior to that, just out of high school, I was a head bookkeeper for a general finance corporation. And that is as pretty much like an accountant. I just never got that degree. But what I want to stress is don't give up. Women, we are stronger than you may think. Tenacity, yes, it has to be in there with a little sprinkle of almost gold dust to push you forward. So here's what happened. So my husband died in 1990. No life insurance, 4 children. What the heck am I going to do? I can work for a lawyer, but you cannot bring kiddos to the law firm unless you're a client. At any rate, what I did was my husband and I had $40,000 in the bank. His mother had given us quite a bit of that, and the rest we had saved. So I had heard that if your husband or wife dies, don't do anything for a year. So what I did do was I looked up, prior to the internet, it wasn't even existing at that time. I looked up in books, I went to the library a lot, and found ads in the newspaper where a business seminar might be. What could I possibly do to change the situation I was in? And through that process, that first year, I went to about 20 to 24 business seminars. At one of the seminars, I think it was the Milan seminar here in St. Louis, I heard something that gave me an aha moment. They spoke of buying houses through auctions. And I thought, wait a minute. When I was 16, I went to an auction with my Aunt Katie. At that point, I thought, I know what they do. They rattle this something off real fast and they go sold. Well, at least I had that experience of knowing what an auction was. So that sparked something in me. And I thought, well, I know an auctioneer. Maybe he could work for me and I could start my own business. So with that thought in mind, I started going to auctions with an old-fashioned tablet. I don't have a tablet here, but we have Post-it notes. So I took a tablet, like a legal tablet, with me. And every time an auctioneer would say what a piece was when they held it up, I'd sketch it as fast as I could and write down what they said it was called and what it sold for. I did this endlessly for almost a year. After that first year, so that was 1990 when my husband died. No, 1989 when he died. So in January of 1990, and all the different auctions that I went to, they were things were happening in this little old brain. And I thought I could start an auction company. I didn't really want to be the auctioneer, so I did not do that. But I asked several different auctioneers if they could possibly work for me, and most of them already were established in their own auction business. So I found someone who hadn't been doing auctions, hired him. He became a part of my business. For 10 years, we did auctions with estate sales sprinkled in. So I learned from a very seasoned estate sale lady how to set up an estate sale. She gave me a 20-minute rundown, a tour of it, and I ran with that. So after the auctions stopped, that man wanted to go off on his own and do his own auction business, and that was fine. So I thought, well, I'll just do estate sales, because within the auction business, I connected us with probate courts. Often they would call us and tell us that there was an estate that needed to be bid on, and a number of other people came. We all gave silent bids, and often we won the bid. So when you win that bid, you have the entire contents of the house at your disposal. We tossed things that were trashed. We gathered everything that I learned throughout that yearly process of going to high-end auctions, low-end auctions, really, really crappy auctions, and moderate auctions, and auctions all about glassware. So I learned a lot of details that surfaced when I needed them, or I researched even further whenever I had a sale that had certain things in it. So we did that, and the auction business thrived by purchasing through, as I stated, the probate office. I also went to real estate offices. Before COVID, they had meetings on most Tuesdays. Maybe it was only once a month for some of them, so that all of their employees would know, the agents would all know what was a new listing came up or whatever it was, and they'd have their chat. So I was allowed to speak at those real estate offices. From that, I acquired all kinds of referrals, and I just started building my business. And at that time, I had to put an ad in the newspaper. It was $250 for 5 little bitty lines in the main paper here. Finally, the internet came out. Well, not too long after that, or let's say it this way. I learned about the internet, and I started utilizing the internet, and I went gangbusters on how to do this and how to do that. That in itself, placing my ad, a much larger picture on Picasa at one time, I could place the information there and then a number of pictures of what was in the estate sale, and that was free. I found a free site. After that came an estate sale site, which I market my estate sales on at estatesales.net. And I just wanted to tell you not to give up. Just because you get knocked down it doesn't mean you can't go forward in a different way. So ladies and gentlemen, if you start over too, if you have an inkling for something, try it. You never know if it will work if you don't try. I wish you the best of the best. My name is Victoria Gray. You can check out my website at victoriagray.net. I'll see you again soon. Ta-ta.